Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of KigerCraft. I'm Tigorso, here with Kieran, and you may be wondering what the hell this is, and where is it? Well, that's the castle, and this is the village that I started building. I spent a good chunk of time recording this episode about 20 minutes ago. And as I was signing off, I went to shut everything off and realized that the microphone was muted the entire time. So, yeah, the whole thing is gone. Useless, completely, absolutely worth nothing. So, I am going to give you a tour of what I have done, and I'm going to explain everything to you, and then we're going to start working on this a little bit more. So let me go over here to the front. This is going to be the front entrance. As you can see, this is the gate for the castle. This is going to be the road that leads in. These are sort of like checkpoints to keep any undesirables out, and creepers and zombies and whatnot. And this is going to be the main town square. Now this building that's lined with gravel is going to be City Hall. It's probably going to be significantly bigger than this. This doesn't seem like a pretty epic City Hall, if you ask me. But I've coordinated off this area for that purpose. We've also got a couple alleyways here. This is probably going to be a church, because down here is a zombie spawner. So I did a lot of terraforming. I covered up a lot of stuff. I've removed a ton of dirt. I think I had probably about 30 stacks of dirt from all the stuff that I removed, not including what I actually put down. So we've got a couple cool things going on here. We've got a couple houses, like this right here. This is going to be a house, along with this one. This is going to be a church. More houses. These guys are kind of like in a duplex situation here. This is going to be the farmer's house, because his house is right next to the barn, which is what this is going to be. This is where we're going to have like a couple sheep, maybe some cows and chickens and whatnot. It's not really going to be for farming. It's more or less just for looks. But we also got a couple more houses back here. And one of the things I was about to start doing, but we sort of ran out of time in the last one, was I wanted to build a sheep place back here, so that we can have, a little tiny sheep farm, a little bit of space for them to graze and whatnot. And so I thought that would be pretty cool. But there's definitely I'm really liking how this came out. What I did was I pretty much just came in and I just started cutting up everything, just making random block placements and finding out what looked good, trying different things, and it actually worked out pretty well, I think. I really like the way some of these houses came out. I'm loving the roadway. It's really working. So I'm pretty happy. I'm pretty content. So this here is, I'm just gonna do some dirt because I got a whole bunch of it. But this here is going to represent the sheep pen, so to speak, and here's where we'll keep most of the animals. Maybe even a little bit of pigs going on over here. this is definitely going to be sort of like an alternate area, because I'm thinking that I want to sort of move the cows that we have out of the underground temporary farm area that we've got going on. Maybe I'll move them into here, and we'll just keep sheeps and whatnot in here with their different colors and everything. So, you know, there's this, it's really flexible. These are more houses. It's really flexible. It's working out really nicely. I'm really enjoying how this is working, and eventually we're going to get villagers up in here, and they are going to populate this area. So I'm really hoping, really hoping that they consider this an area that they can live in. And, you know, we'll get like a well in the center here and get all sorts of cool stuff for them going on. So we are going to take a couple swatches of woods that we have available, and we are going to check out, get rid of that lonely, no, I don't want you guys back. We're going to take a couple swatches here, and we are going to check out how everything looks. Because right now I've got, let's get some spruce, jungle wood. There we go. So right now I've got quite a few different random logs going on. As you can see, they're all in different orientations because I was just putting them down willy-nilly. Don't worry, they will all get changed. Those of you who suffer from OCD, have no fear. I will be correcting this in the future, just not right now. Ooh, beds, yay! Let's go ahead and... oh, not yet. Alright, so we've got here, let's see, this is oak. We've got spruce, jungle, or that's spruce, this is birch. So, nope, there we go. Go ahead and sleep, because we don't want tons of creepers spawning right now. So, I'm thinking for the walls of the log houses that have the oak logs, I think we're going to go with birch. I think that is the one that I liked the best for this. I sort of don't want to do too much of the dark wood. I have a tendency of overdoing dark wood, and I'm not really sure. Oops, no, that's not the way I wanted that to go. And I'm not really sure that that's something that I want to replicate. So I'm thinking that for the jungle wood, yeah, that's absolutely what I was thinking, is the oak. Alright, so oak wins for jungle wood. The actual jungle wood planks look just a little bit too dark. So let's go ahead and I'll put birch here. And then the dark wood. Oops, nope. I don't have my axe on me, so I have to break these things by hand. Alright, and what do you think for the... Yep, exactly what I was thinking. See, me and Garen, we're like locked on the same wavelength. Our brains are tied together in really weird ways. So, let's go ahead and just start building up these walls here, because I got quite a few interesting things to talk about, because there's been a lot of interesting tech things going on. Oh wait, if this is... Are we not going to use dark wood planks on anything? That's jungle, this is oak, that's spruce. I didn't use any zebra trees. You're right. Oh well. Maybe I'll add in a house later. Zebra will be. You like them with dark planks? Okay, well, I'm definitely going to want to have a lot of diversity going on in here. So we'll have to go ahead and do a zebra tree house. I think it'll look pretty cool. There we go. But like I said, I got some pretty cool things I wanted to talk about today. They're actually they're actually really interesting to me because I like technology, but I also find law to be something that I'm also pretty interested in. In fact, at one point, I was actually contemplating becoming a law student. My parents and a couple of my professors were saying, you're so into law. Why don't you become a lawyer? And I wasn't really jiving with that idea. So that's something that I never really jumped on the bandwagon for. Oh, this looks nice. Okay, I'm probably just going to be working on the walls because I'm not entirely sure that I want to just have plain old roofs. I want to do something special for the roofs. Lots of stairs and half slabs and things like that. But one of the things that happened this week is Apple, or maybe it was last week, Apple got smacked down for defying UK courts. Essentially what happened was that Apple... was that too high? Yes, it is too high. Apple accused Samsung of, patent/copyright infringement in the UK, and the UK courts sided with Samsung, and as punishment, Apple had to declare on its website for a specified amount of time, I think it was 30 days, that Samsung had not violated anything, that they did nothing wrong, and that Apple was wrong, and so on and so forth. Well, they were given a specific amount of time to implement this court order, and when they did, the courts took a look at it and they said, "What is this crap?" It was the most underhanded, non-apology apology I think I've ever seen in my life from pretty much anyone. So the UK courts pretty much said that, do over. You need to do it. Ooh, I fell. You need to do it again. And this time you need to do it properly. So Apple, they threw their lawyers threw a fit, and they eventually had to comply with the order. Well, the funny thing is that they decided to comply with the order in probably the most douchebaggish way ever, and this really caught my eye because I was like, wow, what a bunch of douchebags. Pretty much what they did is that when you go to when you go to Apple's website, they usually have an advertisement for their products on the main page. Well, the apology to Samsung had to be on the main page. So they did put it on the main page, but they also added a little piece of JavaScript that would resize the page of Apple's website so that the apology to Samsung always showed up below the fold of the web page. Below, for those of you who don't understand what below the fold means, it's a term that's sort of left over from printing. Below the fold refers to things that pretty much are never going to get seen. It's sort of like this thing where if you don't have it on the front page, like it's below the fold of the newspaper on the front page, nobody's ever going to bother reading it. So that's pretty much what they did, is they dynamically resized their web page based on what screen size monitor you have, so that way the apology always showed up at near the bottom of the screen. So this was reported on Slashdot, which is a very techie-centric website that aggregates different news. And a lot of people on there were like, oh, okay, well, let's start testing. And what they found was that right after they were ordered by the courts, they added a little piece of JavaScript code that would dynamically redo the web page sizing. So everybody was like, wow, that's just absolute crap. And I completely agree. I personally am very disappointed in Apple. I thought that, if you're gonna be a dick, don't do it so overtly. I mean, come on. One of the things that I find interesting is that, one, two, there we go, that's gonna be the top, is the UK courts, are very, very protective of consumers, which is not something that we see here in the US. The EU and British courts don't take crap from companies. Just because they're, this big company is Apple, they don't let them get away with it. And EU regulators have shown time and time again that they are for the people, and I really respect the people for that. Like, they've gone after, Google, Microsoft, maybe for not the most legitimate of reasons, but at least they're looking out for the people, whereas the courts here would just be like, oh, whatever, and just let them. Yeah, wait. Oh, I see what you're talking about. Ooh, it does kind of look yummy, huh? Ooh, I want to eat some of this. Oops, I got a little bit of hodgepodge going on here. Okay, well, I'll need to remind myself to change that out. So it's very interesting. I'm very curious to see what the UK courts do. I cannot say that I am well versed in British or European Union law, but I hear from some people that they could actually be fined a pretty hefty amount if they are found in contempt of court for violating this court order. So that's definitely something that I know that they probably don't want to have happen, and because I guess it can be pretty serious. Those fines can get pretty up there. So we will just gonna have to see about that, but oh my gosh, the drama. Ooh, it is night. Sleep. The drama is getting thick on that one. So I very much want to see. And also, if anybody because I know we have quite a few people who are from the EU. If any of you guys know anything about this or have any insight, do please share it in the comments. I would be more than happy to read what you guys have to say, because, like I said, I'm not an expert. I don't really know anything about European law at all. So, give us a hint and we'll start a conversation about it. So, yeah, definitely some cool things going on there. We'll have to see what's going on. But another thing about more tech is Windows Phone 8. Now, let's see, I'm working with Junglewood here. One of the things... Oh, wait, no. Junglewood gets not this. Oak planks, yes. Windows Phone 8 is coming out, and it's mainly coming out on a couple HTC phones here in the US, and most notably Nokia devices. Now, I used to be a really, really big fan of Nokia. Personally, I think that their business practices over the last, oh gosh, I don't know, couple years or so. Oh wait, is this isn't Junglewood, this is spruce. It does get Junglewood. I was doing it right. Alright, there we go. Now we're back on track. So I personally, there's been a lot of really positive buzz about these new Nokia phones, specifically the 920, the Lumia 920. And I can't help but shake my head and wonder why, because I am a Windows Phone user, sadly. I have a Nokia Lumia 710, and it's a good phone. The hardware is really good. The problem is the software blows chunks like you wouldn't believe. A Windows Phone is probably one of the worst operating systems that I've ever encountered in my life on a mobile phone. I mean, don't get me wrong, I have absolutely zero love for Apple devices, but I respect what they try and do. But they're more of a fashion device rather than a technology company. So they're playing in a little bit of a different field, although some people can sort of get the two confused. But I chose the Windows Phone over another Android because I'm actually an Android buff. I really, really like Android phones. I think they offer the best user experience, the best customizability. They have the best features and some of the best hardware on phones. Now, not everybody's going to agree with me, but that's mainly because a lot of people are stuck with the... Are you parkouring? A lot of people are stuck with the stock sort of skin textures that come with their phones. Like if you have an HTC phone, you've got HTC Sense. Samsung has TouchWiz, and there are quite a few other ones. But they really blow it up, and they really hide Android's true features. But Windows Phone is pretty much everything stripped down. If I had to describe what Windows Phone is, it would be a feature phone OS. Now, for those of you who don't understand what that means, there are three types of phones. You've got your basic phone, which is your traditional sort of flip phone, the one that you get for grandma and grandpa so that they can call you if there's ever an emergency. And then you've got feature phones, which usually people will give their kids so that they can keep in contact with them. And then you've got smartphones, and we all know those. They're the Apple iPhones, the Galaxy S3s from Samsung, those sort of things. The Windows Phone is a feature phone operating system, in my opinion, because when you really look at it, there's really nothing there. And like I said earlier, there's a lot of great hardware going on behind the scenes of the Lumia 720, which is great. It's a great phone. It's got great hardware, but it's absolutely going to be gimped by the software that they've chosen. I mean, let's just look at a few things. You know, like with a smartphone, you expect to be able to set a whatchamacallit, a home screen picture, like a background, like wallpaper for your desktop. With Windows Phone, you get two choices, black or white. Yeah, that's it. You can choose a picture if you want to have one on your lock screen, but if you have a picture you want it to be on your home screen that you look at most of the time, it ain't gonna happen. They don't allow you to do that. Alright, let's get some more birchies over here. And then you have a lot of really basic primary colors to go with your tiles that are all over the place. So it's really kind of basic. I mean, that's the best way that I can describe it. It feels like a phone OS from, 5 or 6 years ago, before, there was like a standard on how you were supposed to do things. So I find that people are probably going to be very, very disappointed because all of the great hardware that's gone into, the Nokia Lumia phones is going to be completely wasted. And I really, really wish that the Nokia board of directors would just absolutely fire Stephen Elop, who is currently the CEO. Why are you putting flowers in there? You flowerizing my place? Flower power. I really wish they would just fire Stephen Elop because he's actually an ex-Microsoft executive, and Nokia had this great deal going on with Symbian. They spent all this money. They spent like $80 million to develop this Symbian OS, and then this Stephen Elop douche comes in and says, "Oh yeah, the secret takeover guy." He says, "Oh yeah, forget about that. We're just gonna switch over to Windows Phone, and that's all we're gonna use." So, they've got this amazing OS ready to go, and they just scrap the entire thing for a completely unproven and, in my honest opinion, basic and pretty crappy OS. It's so frustrating to see a great company like Nokia go down like this, and I'm pretty much calling it that in the next, I don't know, couple months, maybe a year, Microsoft is going to buy Nokia in whole in a fire sale of epic proportions, and they're going to get the whole company for like $16, which actually is probably likely because there have been multi-billion-dollar corporations that have been sold for $1. So, we're just going to have to watch how that goes, but I am not optimistic. So, yeah, so poor Nokia. They're going to go the way of the dodo, I think, eventually, or get rolled into Microsoft. But it wouldn't be as bad, like, if they had apps. Like, whenever I talk about, Android versus OS, they're both really great platforms, for certain kinds of people. But people go, oh, well, such and such a platform has more apps or, whatever. And I'm like, no, they don't. They have the same apps. There's really no difference between them all. Was it night? Yeah, it's night. So, that's just not true. Except, that was weird. except in the case of Windows Phone. Windows Phone has literally no applications at all. None. If you go through and you look at the App Store for Windows Phone, you will notice that the only apps that have any significant amount of downloads and have positive ratings are Nokia, apps made directly by Nokia and Microsoft. I mean, let's put it this way. The App Store is so anemic on Windows Phone that they don't even have a Facebook app by Facebook. Microsoft had to port the Facebook app to Windows Phone because what's it called? Facebook wasn't going to do it. Yeah. Wrap your brains around that. I mean, you want Pandora? Forget it. I mean, there's a cheesy Pandora sort of knockoff that uses the Pandora API, but it's nowhere near as good as the real Pandora player, and that's pretty much it. I mean, it's been a pretty sad existence for my poor little phone. But to be honest, I personally don't care. Because I don't really use my phone a whole lot, so it doesn't really matter to me. I mean, I want something that's got good battery life, and, you know, that just will be there when I need it. So, you know, for that, it's good. But all these people who are gonna, you know, go out and get, you know, the 920, the $700, you know, phone. I mean, mine was $100, you know, so I'm not really all that mad about how lame it is. But there are going to be those people who go out, they're going to spend $700 on this phone, and they're going to be completely disappointed, and I'm going to laugh. I'm going to laugh so hard. All right. Don't laugh? Oh, yeah, that's true. Well, see, if they are our subs, then this is the perfect time to talk about it. So that way they don't make the mistake. Right? I guess. Alright, let's stand back and take a look at this real quick. See how this place is turning up. Ooh, it's looking pretty good. What do you think? You like it? You don't like it? Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Garen doesn't like it. Well, I think it looks good for now. I think we may need to change some colors up in here. I'm thinking we're gonna need to omit the I don't have any spruce, but we're gonna need to omit the jungle wood. But let's go grab some bricks. So let's do a little bit of work on the oh, we can do this. This is the little guard station. We'll put a little villagers here. They'll make sure no baddies, no creepers or zombies get into the village. They'll be the village's first line of defense. I think this is a pretty cute idea. All right. Whoops, didn't want that one there. There we go. Just a little hut. Maybe I'll get some sort of arm across here to block it off. Looks pretty good. Alright, and then moving on from phones that are doing everything wrong to phones that are doing actually something right. Recently, the Google Nexus 4 was announced. It's being made by LG. And I'm actually really excited for this phone because it really challenges the way that phones are done in the U.S. Now, for those of our followers who aren't from the U.S., don't have a cell phone, or don't understand how it works, pretty much the entire story of the US cell phone market is you go into a store of your choosing, you pick a phone, and you pay a certain amount for that phone. But the caveat is you have to sign up for 2 years. Otherwise, you have to pay an extremely exorbitant amount of money for the phone, and then you still get ripped off on the plans themselves. So it's sort of just one of those things. You know, that's how the wireless business is done in America, and personally, I think it sucks. But you know, it is what it is. So, there are some companies right now that are really trying to change the way that American wireless works. You guys have heard me talk about the SoftBank Sprint merger, acquisition, or whatever. I think this one will actually look better. That's definitely going to have some disruptive properties on the market, but there are also some other disruptive movements moving in as well. For a while now, Google has been making Nexus phones, which are branded as a pure Google experience. They don't run TouchWiz or any of the other sort of, you know, skins that a lot of the, you know, Samsung or LG phones have, or HTC for that matter. So it's just plain old Android, which is actually really nice. I really like the Nexus phones. The problem is that a lot of carriers don't want to have them because they can cause problems because they're unlocked. That means you can't lock the customer into a contract. So they kind of shy away from those phones. But Google has really shocked a lot of people when they announced that the new Nexus, the Nexus 4 is what they're calling it, is going to be available unlocked for what was it? I think it was like $299, and we're talking about like a top tier spec phone. You know, it's got an amazing quad core processor. It's got, you know, awesome camera. It's got amazing screen. You know, everything that you could ever want, you know, from a phone, a really high spec phone. You know, so it's definitely going to give the Galaxy S3 a run for its money, but it's going to be just, you know, $299 without even signing a contract. You just buy the phone and you can take it to whoever you want. You don't have to worry about, you know, if your carrier supports it, it's unlocked, it works with any carrier, you know, AT&T or T-Mobile here in the US. So everybody was shocked at the price because it's really, really low. I mean, for reference, the Samsung Galaxy S3 unlocked without a contract retails for about $700 or $500 to $700. Pretty expensive. And this phone is equally spec'd, and it's going for $299. So it's a really, really, really big deal. If I had the money, I would totally buy one of these things in a heartbeat. I'm not a huge fan of LG phones, but you know, everybody's got to get a chance sometimes, and Google's going to have quite a bit of say in how this phone works and quality control wise. So, you know, we're just going to have to see how it goes. But you know, I'm starting to see things changing, and I've actually worked in the wireless industry for many years. I don't any longer, but I always hated the way that they did their business. It just seemed so anti-consumer, and there's so many better ways to do it. So I think we're starting to see that sort of change, and they're starting to be more amenable to flexible plans. You know, more like European carriers and carriers that are, well, pretty much not U.S. carriers. So it's definitely something that, you know, I'm going to be keeping my eye on. You know, maybe we'll see a big shakeup in the wireless market, and, you know, one can only hope. Alright, let's go ahead and put this up here a little bit. Oh no, I'm out of bricks. Alright, let's go ahead and replace this with, let's go with some wood. Ooh, actually, you know what? Uh-oh, nighttime. Wonder how long Gieran's been in that bed. Alright, there we go. Alright. Alright, I actually think that I'm going to dig up. Do I have enough? I don't. Alright, let me go ahead and go run back and get some planks real quick. But yeah, so some of you may have heard about the storm, the hurricane, superstorm, freak storm, whatever they want to call it, that blew through the eastern seaboard area early last week, called Sandy. I know that the BBC has been reporting on it, so this is going to be something that everybody knows about. One of the things that there's been a lot of damage and destruction, and a lot of people are still without power and everything like that. But one of the things that really saddened me about the effects from the storm was the fact that the space shuttle Enterprise was damaged in the storm. You know, it was sort of like one of those things. You know, everybody's reporting on the human story, but I like space. I think space is a really cool thing, and the whole situation with the space shuttles is just a it's a very sad moment for our country, because we really should have something to replace them if we're going to retire them, because this is a hallmark of the American space program. These shuttles are technological marvels, and, you know, to see them treated as kind of like, okay, well, you're old, so we're going to get rid of you, and then, you know, it's like, well, okay, what are we going to replace it with? And the answer was, well, we're going to contract with the Russians. Yeah, so no, I'm not thinking I like that. Yeah, I think I like this better. So, you know, I've been following the trails of the different shuttles. They've got Endeavour, Atlantis, and Enterprise. Enterprise was actually a test shuttle that never actually flew any missions. So it was just sort of like eye candy, but it was sent to New York, and this poor ship has had such a hard time getting there. It's been marred by incompetent shippers. It was put on a barge to get it across a river, and these guys ran our priceless national treasure into the side of a bridge, damaging the wing. And I was like, epic facepalm like you wouldn't even believe. Crap. Let me go run up here. I got some more trees over here. I can just punch some wood real fast. So that was just absolutely terrible. And then this poor ship, who's already been damaged by incompetent shippers, got damaged again when Sandy rolled through. It collapsed the tent that was covering it, because NASA demanded that the ships be covered and properly taken care of, so that way they didn't suffer the nasty fate of like some of our other treasures that we had entrusted to museums, like the Saturn V rocket. But yeah, damn, just 3 short. So I'm just gonna take a block from right here. So it was really depressing to hear that the tail end got damaged along with the wing from the shipping. So hopefully they'll be able to get it fixed and repaired, because you know, I have a lot of love for the spaceships that we've got, the shuttles. I was very young, but I still remember when I was sitting with my parents when the Space Shuttle Challenger exploded back in '89, I believe it was. So since then, I've sort of had a little bit of a soft spot for the shuttles. So I'm definitely want to see them taken care of and properly. But the other 2 have made it to their destination safe and sound. So hopefully we won't have any more depressing issues like this in the future. But I'm going a little bit long on this one, but I know you guys like that. So let's go ahead and take a looky up here. All right, so I'm thinking that I'm liking these so far. We may have to sort of unify how these look, and you know, I want your guys' opinion. Do you guys like? Which ones don't you guys like? I like the oak and birch combination. Yeah, I like the oak and birch combination. But if you guys have any suggestions, that's you vote randomness. Just pick 2 and put them together. He's all the way up there. Oh, you're talking about the placement of the buildings. Oh. Oh, yeah. Like over there. Oh, okay, alright. So we'll have to move them around a little bit. That's okay. Whoa. Oh. It's Garen. Garen shot at me. Hey, Garen shot at me. I can get you. I missed. Oh well. Alright, so I'm wondering if anybody likes these wood combinations. If you guys hate any of them, let me know in the comments. But I think that's going to be it for this episode. I just looked at my mic, and the mic is actually on. It's not muted. So this is actually going to go up. But it's actually looking pretty good. We're just going to have to make a whole bunch of wood and put some nice, whatchamacallums, some nice roofs on these things, and I think this will actually work out really well. I still don't know what I'm going to do with the floors in here. They're definitely not going to stay grass, but I'm not really sure that I want to use wood. So we will have to see about that. Maybe cobblestone. Do I have any? I do have some cobblestone. Let's do this. Let's do this real quick. Let's just go ahead and punch this out and see if the cobblestone looks okay, because I think that cobblestone is something that houses in this era would have had on the floor. That's not too bad. What do you think? Yes? No? Alright, well, I think I like this. I think I'm going to stick with the cobblestone for now. And I think that'll work out pretty well. So, that's going to be it for this episode. Where's the bear? There he is. So, thank you guys for joining us for another episode of KigerCraft. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you next time. Take care.